Assalamu alaikum and what's up everyone? Welcome back. Alright, so today we're going to be talking about photography. And what about photography? We're going to teach you how to get out of auto and get into manual. This way you guys can take much better photos. And I'm going to try to do that in 5 minutes or less. Let's see if I can do it. Let's start right now. Okay, so we're gonna start with the triangle, the exposure triangle. What's the exposure triangle? That's ISO, aperture, and shutter speed. No particular order, they make a triangle. All right, so getting right to it. ISO, let's talk about ISO a little bit really fast. ISO is sensitivity to the sensor. Now, it's necessary when you're shooting at night, when you're shooting in the dark, when you're shooting in a low light situation. So you bump up your ISO to, we're just gonna call ISO fake light. Yeah, you know, some other YouTubers call it fake light. I kind of agree with them. It is kind of fake light because you're introducing light that's not really there into the sensor. Your sensor gets sensitive, your sensor is sensitive, you introduce it. Now, that's the good side, that's the good thing. So when you don't have enough light, what do? You just bump up your ISO and you're good to go. But not necessarily and not always. There's a limit to how much you can bump up your ISO. Now, a lot of best ISO, native ISO for the least amount of noise is 100. When you keep your ISO at 100, you have what's called less noise or less grain. The quality of the image is a lot higher, but sometimes you need to bump up your ISO to 200, 300, 800, 1000 on up. The more you bump it up, the more grains you get. You get like these little dots, these little spots. You ever take a photo with your iPhone or Samsung or whatever? You take your photo with your phone and you see all these little grains at night? That's because the ISO is on auto and it's bumped way up to give you that fake light so you can show the image. All right, so keep the ISO down. You keep the quality of the image high. So that means you have to bring in actual real light. Or today with with modern cameras, modern technology, cameras have been able to deal with ISO a lot better. Cool. All right, moving on to the next thing. Now we know what ISO is. So we're gonna go to shutter speed. Shutter speed is very, very crucial. Now you see how my hand is moving? All right, we're gonna take a photo of me doing this, and we're gonna take this photo at 1/200. Let's see how it looks. Cool. All right, you see how it looks like on your screen? Everything is frozen, 1/200. Looks clean, looks sharp, right? My hand is not blurry. It's not blurry like it is right now. See on your screen, it's very blurry. Now, if I was to take a shot at, let's just say, 1/5, I want more light. Look at that, my hand is now completely shaken. It's not crisp clear anymore. That's not good, right? So, if you want to catch someone running in the playground or catch an animal or a bird flying, you need to bump up your shutter speed as high as possible to catch up to them. And the way you find out what's the right shutter speed is trial and error. You take a photo, you see if it's crisp, you take another one, see if it's crisp, if it's sharp, if it's clean, that's your shutter speed for the speed of the subject that's moving, all right? Now, for portraits, you don't need to mess with shutter speed too much if they're not moving. If they're standing still, modeling for you, whatever the case may be, then you should be able to take a nice clean shot of them. All right, moving on to aperture. Aperture, super important. That's the opening, right, of your lens, the blades inside your lens. The higher the aperture number, the smaller the opening is. Now this controls light, how much light is coming in. Aperture is super important, guys. Now the problem with aperture is, let's just say you're shooting a landscape, but you need a lot of light for whatever reason, because of the situation. Now, it affects the background and the foreground. So if I stand in front of you, for example, I'm gonna take a photo of me standing here in front of you, and I'm gonna put this camera right behind me, all the way over there. All right, so we're gonna take a photo of that, and I want you to look at that on your screen. Look at how the camera is gonna be blurred out and how I'm gonna be focused, right? So the focus, when you really open up your aperture, foreground is blurred away. So what you want to do now, watch what happens when I narrow down the opening for the aperture. Look on your screen right now. You see how everything is in focus? Kind of cool, right? So now you know how to measure between aperture. Now, camera, main important thing to understand about photography is it's all about light, how much light you're letting in. If you can learn how to perfect these three things, ISO, shutter speed, and aperture. ISO, shutter speed, aperture, the exposure triangle right in the center. If you guys could figure out how to get the perfect formula, you will make amazing images. So right now, grab your camera, put me on pause, grab your camera, rewind what I just said, test out this theory. Jump around, take a photo of yourself. Let's see how it comes out. If it's too shaky, if it's too blurry, bump up the shutter speed. If it's too dark, open up the aperture. You know, if it's still too dark, adjust your ISO. You can introduce a little bit of noise in there. It's fine, a little bit. Just don't go too crazy. Practice these 3 things. I guarantee you'll become an amazing photographer. I hope this helped. I tried to do it in 5 minutes or less. I haven't checked the timer, to be honest with you, but I hope I did. All right. Thanks for tagging along. Listen, guys, if you really like this video and you want to see more tutorials like this, do me a favor, drop a like, a comment, and a subscribe. It really makes a difference. Really appreciate you. All right, and I'll catch you on the next one. Assalamu alaikum.